What's up, guys? Welcome back to Look Up. We are here for a very special one, Man of Steel, guys. My name is Kyle. If you haven't seen the series before, thanks for checking out Project Potter. But what we're doing is going through every live-action Superman movie. To some extent, we're doing the first four Christopher Reeve movies, or we did those already. Then Superman Returns. Now we're on to Man of Steel, guys. Then we're going to do Batman versus Superman before James Gunn's new Superman. And so, guys, I haven't seen any of the Christopher Reeve movies before. I haven't seen the Superman Returns before. I've seen Man of Steel one time when it came out in theaters, 2013, guys. I'm recording this in June of 2025. This will obviously be going up later. And then I haven't seen Batman versus Superman since it came out in theaters as well. So basically, fresh watches, guys. I know Man of Steel is a very popular choice, and I have a lot of things to say about this one, guys. But if you haven't seen the series before, what I'm going to do is give my thoughts on the film. I'm going to give a favorite character, a score out of 10, and rank against the first 5 movies. So, guys, appreciate you. Let's fly. First off, let me say, how the hell have we not gotten a Man of Steel 2? Because, my God, spoilers, guys, this is a pure epic film. This is an epic in every sense of the word. Guys, 2013 Kyle, when he saw this in theaters, did not appreciate the masterclass that this film is. I had chills multiple times. Hans Zimmer, rent was due for this man. He absolutely cooked with Flight and all of the different soundtracks. When the credits roll, guys, and it's a story by Christopher Nolan, I go, oh, we got the GOAT. I didn't know we had the GOAT involved in this project because Christopher Nolan cooked with Dark Knight and then said, hey, you know what, man? Let me tell you what I know about Man of Steel. And my God, dude, this is such an incredible movie. It's one of the rare films that from start to finish, it feels epic on a scale that very few movies ever achieve, between the score and the cinematography and the visuals. And the story, I think, especially for a Superman movie, is really interesting. And this movie is so good that I didn't even realize until almost the end of the film, when the LexCorp truck shows up, or the LexCorp truck gets like exploded, that Lex Luthor's not in this film. It was so good that I didn't even realize that he wasn't in it. And that was like such a big part of all the other films for the most part. And man, I have so much to say about this film, guys. It's so good from start to finish. Henry Cavill is incredible. And I'm just sitting here watching this film and I'm like, how did they not make a Man of Steel 2? What are we doing? There's still time, guys. We still, now, obviously with James Gunn's Superman coming out, it's not Henry Cavill. It's David Bornquist or whatever his name is. And I'm excited to see it. It looks good. But my God, dude, Henry Cavill, I don't think he's Christopher Reeve, because I don't think anyone can touch Christopher Reeve. But he is a 1A if there ever was one, dude. He is so damn good as Superman. The Cavalrine, as they say in Deadpool Wolverine, guys. Got jacked for this film. I think he's an underrated actor. Now, I haven't seen Witcher. I know he's left the show since then, but I know that Witcher took off because of Henry Cavill as Geralt. Very different character from Superman, but man, as Clark Kent. Actually, not really Clark until the end, when we get the awesome ending I'll talk about, guys. But really, well, he is Clark Kent, but he's a cool-ass Clark Kent, right? And he's got these powers. He's keeping them hidden. We get Kevin Costner as Jonathan Kent as his dad, and the cast is stacked. Lawrence Fishburne is Perry in here. Amy Adams is the lovely Lois Lane, guys. We get the guy from House of Cards. Not Kevin Spacey, because fuck Kevin Spacey. But the guy, Doug, I think his name is, from House of Cards. I forget what the actor's name is. But it's just a stacked cast. It's the guy from Law and Order, too. The guy that's in like all of the Law and Order. Is it SVU? Or maybe he's another one. I forget. I haven't watched Law and Order in forever. But stacked cast. Michael Shannon as General Zod, who, like, talking about rent being due for him, too, dude. I mean, my goodness, what a performance. And this was 2013. Michael Shannon was kind of hot. He was kind of in everything. I feel like he's kind of gone away since. But what a performance. And by the whole cast and crew, really. But the visuals are amazing. We get time spent on Smallville's farm a little bit with Clark and like his powers and what that means. We get the tragic passing. Dude, when Kevin Costner is like, no, he can save him, right? Tornado kind of pops up out of nowhere. They're trying to save everyone. The visuals are going nuts. And then Henry Cavill's standing there, right? Clark is standing there. And he knows he can just zip over and save his dad and right back. And they go back for the dog, which is like, man, you know you're a great person when you're going back for a dog in a tornado, right? And Kevin Costner, he frees the dog, or Jonathan Kent, I should say. He frees the dog, but then like he injures his foot, so he can't get away, and it's too late. He's taking up too much time, and the tornado's coming for him. And Clark just looks at him, dude, and he just holds out his hand and he just shakes his head. And I'm like, man, dude, he is so convinced, and he says later in the film where he's like, my dad was so convinced that the world is not ready for my powers that he like gave up his own life. Like he knew that he could have saved him, and he was like, no, like the world's not ready. And that question of like what I think Lawrence Fishburne says, like, what you know what these people would do if they found out that someone like that was walking amongst us, and it's crazy, and it's this realistic version, and I think this movie is so great because it's so grounded, and obviously you still get the elements like Superman flying around and the alien spaceships, and it's kind of War of the Worlds, but it's so cool between like the war machine or whatever they call it, and it's like terraforming the planet, and it's got the gravity thing and it's pulsing down. It's terrifying. And guys, let me just say, a lot of people die in this film. Like I was shocked that I'm like the planes are just crashing, exploding, and it's like, yeah, it's an action movie. But I feel like in all the other Superman movies, the theme comes in and Superman comes in at the last second and saves the building, and it's like happy-go-lucky, and it's like no one's ever hurt when Superman's around. This movie was like, fuck that. People are dying, the stakes are real, and like a whole bunch of people died. And when Superman's fighting Zod, dude, and he's going all out in every freaking flying scene, and the sense of speed when they're going like Mach speed and it's breaking the sound barrier, it's so good. I was waiting for like a bad scene to come up where I'm like, oh, that doesn't look great because it's obviously heavy CGI, and it looks absolutely incredible. Like it was some of the coolest visuals I've ever seen. I'm like, damn, I wish I saw this in IMAX because this would be just unreal. Now I had my Roku surround sound, dude. I'm watching on my QLED. I'm streaming the 4K on HBO Max. Although honestly, I'm probably gonna buy this film after this now, like the 4K disc, because I want the top quality. But I got the surround sound going. I got the volume all the way up. Like it was insane. The visuals, just the sound, everything was incredible, and I was just blown away. I had chills, like full body chills, multiple times in this movie, and I don't think I've had them once throughout this series. And I've enjoyed these movies, right? I'm like, they're like the original Christopher Reeve ones. Like I'm like, these are good, like fun movies, like the cool moments, and the theme is awesome. But like I'm talking full body chills, dude. And guys, no joke. I shaved right before I finished rolling credits on this, and I was like, this would be disrespectful if I didn't shave. Now, you won't catch me using a straight razor on my face ever again. Like, I always use electric because I need a little bit of something there so I don't look like I'm 5 years old. But I was like, it would be disrespectful to have facial hair after watching this masterpiece that I just watched. And now, obviously, Henry Cavill as Clark Kent, he's got a lot of facial hair. We see like a rugged, almost like a Wolverine kind of in a lot of the movie here, but when he really like becomes Superman at the end, like he's got the clean shaven face, and it's like, damn, dude, it's so good. Even like the bus scene at the beginning when the bus sinks and he like escapes out the back, and he just like you see him lifting the bus up and the music kicks in, and damn, Hans Zimmer, dude, Hans Zimmer. That's all I'm gonna say. Like he just is the goat. Unbelievable scores between Interstellar and this, and Dark Knight, and everything he does. Like it's, I mean, I'll say probably John Williams won. But I mean, they're different scores too. But like in terms of like movie scores, like epic scores, Hans Zimmer cooks once again, and it's like it adds so much gravity, no pun intended, to this film because it's like everything is just so incredible. And Russell Crowe does a great job here, and I think it's really cool how he's like playing the AI, and he plays Jor-El, and he comes back, and it's different, and Krypton is different. It's a different vibe. They didn't go with like the frosty crystal look, which the whole series has been, and so I didn't love that, but then it's shot epically. They kind of made everything into like insects, which I thought was an interesting choice, but it is a different take on it, so it was refreshing there. Well, Russell Crowe was great throughout it. I wish they gave him sort of like a hologram effect a little bit. It was kind of weird that he was just standing in there, but I like how he's just like opening the door and like snapping his fingers and stuff. But I just sort of liked it to be a little more like futuristic. But the tech that they had with like it almost looks like those the things you get as a kid where you press into them and you like put your hand into it and then it imprints it. I'll put it in the video what those are called, but the technology was cool when it popped up and it was like that gray beads and stuff, and it worked like that. I think it was cool. It was obviously a little on the nose with like basically like a Superman USB drive. And then like the guy from Odin from Ragnarok, what's his name? He like ends up turning the thing at the end, and it's like everyone's fighting over it, and he just overrides. He just turns it, but the Superman going in there, and then like the scene where he's like, it's not an S, and Amy Adams is like, well, here it's an S, dude, and she's like, well, how about Superman? And it's so good, and I thought their chemistry was really good. I wish we got a little bit more of it, but this wasn't like the classic Lois and Clark story. This was like Amy Adams as Lois Lane is hunting him down. They are together. He's undercover as like I mean, not well, I guess intentional undercover because his dad's like, you got to keep your powers hidden. So he's just like working on like this expedition in the Antarctic or whatever. And then they're like, hey, we have this old ship. And then like she stumbles upon the ship and sees all this stuff. And then he's like, hey, like I gotta leave. But she's like, I know what I saw. And she's like, I'm tracking down my rescuer. And then it's so cool. She goes on these missions and she goes to like IHOP and she basically goes to all these people who he helped. And so she sees what kind of person he is and his morality because of like he's helped all of these people. So she kind of tracks him down. I like how that was a different take. It wasn't just like, oh, you both work at the Daily Planet. And guess what? Clark is nerdy and in love with her. And it's like, I love at the end, guys, how we get him really becoming Clark. And when she says, welcome to the planet, I was like, come on, man. Welcome to the fucking planet. Like, that's how you're going to end it, which is like, obviously the Daily Planet, but just that line of like, hey, you're an Earthling now. Like, you just saved the Earth, and now it's like, welcome to the planet. It's like, what a line, dude. But the full body chills moments I got, guys, when he first learns to fly, and he's got Jor-El's thing. And I think how they pretty much took it almost directly from Marlon Brando's original thing, which is like so iconic now. And I love how they stuck to the script mostly, where he's like, in due time, my only son. It's like saying just like my only son, like it's like, it does something, man. And I feel like I have a real connection to Superman now. Like I feel like I am an actual Superman fan now from watching these movies. And it's like this means something to me now. It's awesome. But when he learns how to fly and that flight Hans Zimmer song kicks in, it's so good. And like he's like testing his powers and he's like, push your limits. And he like actually learns how to fly. I think that's awesome. And then a couple more times we see him when he's fighting. And every time he was thrown or someone threw him or someone crashed into a building or he zipped in, dude, it looked so sick. It was so quick and like brutal and heavy. And it was like they finally figured out how to make Superman fly and look sick. Like finally, dude, 2013. It took us so long, but it looks incredible. And I'm just sitting here like, wow, this is an epic movie from start to finish. And Zod is coming for that ass, dude. And he's like, man, when he says like, I'm going to build Krypton on your bones or whatever, or he's like, I'm going to take the codex from your son's corpse and build it on your bones. It's like, oh my God. And there's that visual of Henry Cavill as Superman standing there, and it's like it shows Earth, and it's just all skulls underneath him, and I'm like, oh my God, dude! Like the visuals are top notch, like some of the most iconic shots I've ever seen. The score is incredible, the characters are incredible, the visuals, the fight scenes, the motivations, the story is really well done. These machines coming down and like wrecking planets, and buildings are falling over, and people are dying. Like that scene where Lawrence Fishburne is like basically bracing for death, and she's like, "Don't leave me." She's trapped in the rubble. Their coworker, and Perry extends his hand, and they're like the gravity gun or whatever is coming, and it's like they're about to get obliterated, and they just kind of he understands that like he's got to be there for her, and that's obviously when Henry Cavill takes it out the last second. But when Clark is down and the beam is like putting him down, and Amy Adams tells him beforehand like, hey, if that thing's closer to Krypton, that's going to make you weaker as you get closer to it. He's like, I'll have to figure it out. And he's like being beamed down. And then like, he's like, you know what? I gotta go through it. And when he just like shoots up through it and the score is going, it's like, oh my God, dude, it's so good. And his fight with Zod at the end is amazing. And there's just so much to love in this film. And it really does. Like I said, it's 2 hours and 23 minutes. And when the credits rolled, dude, I was so fired up. And I was like, I want another 2.5 hours. Like, this is the first time watching these movies, and they've all been pretty long for the most part, that I was like, oh my God, not only did that go so quick, not only did I have so many incredible like goosebumps moments, but I was like, I want more right now. Like I'm like, why is there not a Man of Steel 2 and why can't I put it on right now? Because give me more Henry Cavill, give me more of this cast. I think the cast is so good. I think the visuals and the storytelling and the score were all epic. They really truly were. That one word I keep coming back to, like epic. This is an epic movie, just like The Dark Knight is. Dark Knight Rises, I think, has some issues. I love that movie, but it's still kind of a mess. But The Dark Knight, and I would say, in terms of like pure superhero movies, I think of like the Batman is a very different tone, but the Batman I think is pretty much perfect. And then really you have The Dark Knight, and then like I would say this is like just below that, dude, where it's like this is an incredible time. Get your best TV, get your best surround system, turn all the lights off, get your popcorn ready. Like this is an epic film, and the longer runtime really helps with that because it lets you sit in those moments and it lets you see Clark, and when he was going to see his mom at the farm, dude, it's like, and she hugs him and she's like, "Look at you," and I was like, "Oh, that moment hits because the acting is great and Clark's been through all this and he's going and he's like, I found my people, and she's like, that's amazing. Like I'm so happy for you." And a good script and good cinematography and great acting, like it really sells these moments, and it's not just like a quick one-off. And his the loss of his father, Jonathan Kent, and he's like, "You're not my family." He's like, "Oh, come on." And it's like some stuff is cliche, but then it's all meaningful. And I just love how he's like doing all these different jobs, and that's how Amy Adams tracks him down. And it's incredible, dude. This movie's incredible. It's absolutely amazing. I couldn't believe how great it was. Multiple times throughout the film, I was like, "Are we fucking kidding?" Like in a joyful way, like "Holy shit!" And like just being like, "This looks incredible." And like when he's ripping through the buildings and stuff's exploding around him and all that stuff, and I just couldn't believe how incredible it was. And again, 2013 me did not appreciate this film, and I did not care for it. And my goodness, I feel like if people don't understand this film or they don't think it's like the best Superman film, you guys are crazy, because I think it's pretty much perfect, and I had an amazing time during it. Hey guys, my favorite character for this one, it's tempting to pick Zod because I think Michael Shannon did a great job, and he was like truly a terrifying villain. The line I didn't even mention, guys, at the end when Superman is, oh my god, the Cavill yell, I didn't even realize that, dude. Zod has got his laser eyes going, and although I was like laughing a little bit because I was like, he's targeting these people in like the subway or whatever, and he's like, if you love these people so much, then you can mourn for them. And I was like, oh, dude, that's a baller line. But he's like burning them, and but these people are like up against the rubble, and I was like, guys, literally go down and go anywhere else. They're just kind of standing there and they're like waiting for the beam. But Ken Clark has got to snap his neck is the only way to stop him. And then that's the first person he's killed. And so he's so upset that he screams out. Michael Shannon was incredible as Zod, but I got to give it to the Cavalry guys. The Cavill man, Henry Cavill. I mean, man, he's good. He again, he's very different than Christopher Reeve. Christopher Reeve is like, and this is a different tone movie. This is a realistic, dark, modern tale. So it's hard to compare the two, but Christopher Reeve, I think, is the GOAT, but man, Cavill is right there, and he could have been like a modern day Superman powerhouse. Like, and obviously he was in like Justice League, and now I want to go because this was directed by Zack Snyder, I believe, and I'm like, dude, I think Zack Snyder kind of misses on a lot of stuff, but this is like his creme de la creme. This is like his masterpiece, and now I like want to go watch Justice League, the Snyder Cut, because I'm like, man, you did something special with Henry Cavill and Superman here, and I just can't believe this isn't like a trilogy or at least a sequel. Like, oh man, how did we not get a Man of Steel 2? It's insane to me, but he's special in this movie, dude. I love how we get him. It's not Superman for a lot of it, and then we see badass action in the suit, and I love how he like doesn't know anything. It's not like the original guys where Jor-El sends out like the chip and it gives the baby all the information. Like, I love how the Codex is within Superman. I think that's great. And they're like, we don't need Superman alive to get the Codex. I think that's great. And the Krypton, the survival Krypton and all that stuff, and they're terraforming the planet. But I love how this Clark Kent is like, hey, I want to find out like what my plan is. And I love how Kevin Costner is like, hey, if even it takes your whole life, like go find out like what your purpose is. And it's just great. And I just love how they have like his craft they crash in and they bring it back, and they're like the government didn't come looking for it. And I thought that was kind of weird, but maybe it just kind of went hush hush. But yeah, it was like a soft reboot, but they didn't like hit us over the head with stuff. But man, Henry Cavill, shout out, man. He is definitely the modern day Superman, and it's going to be hard for this new dude to beat him. This new James Gunn Superman might be incredible, but I don't think it's going to beat this. I think this is the bar for Superman movies, and it's crazy. But Henry Cavill, incredible. Loved him as Clark Kent, and then he really becomes Clark Kent at the very end. We puts the glasses on, and like, welcome to the planet. It's such a baller line, dude. But yeah, he was amazing, and I just loved his performance from start to finish. Hey guys, that brings us to the score. Guys, I'm going to throw out the 10 out of 10, the unprecedented perfect film. I think this is as close to a perfect film as you can get. Now, that doesn't mean that there aren't some flaws in this movie, but really, definitely in terms of Superman films, I think this is the best Superman film that's ever been created. Between Superman's powers, Clark Kent's motivations, him being on his own and kind of going out and exploring, hey, what is my purpose? I don't know. It adds a different element than just like Kal-El just knowing everything. the relationship to his mom and his dad, really, and then even his relationship with Jor-El, or the Jor-El's AI, and how they're trying to stop Zod from taking over Earth and just genocide and just rebuilding Krypton. And the visuals in this movie are incredible. The fight scenes are incredible. That girl who had the mask on. Also, I didn't even mention that, guys. It's so cool how they aren't adapted to Earth's atmosphere, and they didn't focus in on the like one thing when Clark is like little and he's at school, and all of a sudden he like has all these powers. Like the way they illustrate that too is like he can X-ray see everyone through X-ray, which is like honestly a terrifying power when you don't know about it. And then he's just hearing all these sounds and he freaks out and he runs to the closet, and then his mom's here and he's like, the world is too big, and she's like, well, then make it small. It's like such a simple thing, but I love how he has to like learn to hone in his powers. So then when the Zod's crew and them come here, they lose their mask, and then they're hearing all of the horn sounds and the lights and everything at once. And they're like, oh my God, this hurts. And he's like, yeah, you got to hone your powers and do like, that's such a cool thing that we didn't really address in any other Superman. Like this was kind of Superman's origin and him growing up with it and having these fantastical powers. And they have that great scene where some kid's bullying him, and he's like, I want to fight that kid so bad. And then Kevin Costner's like, no, dude. He's like, then what? He's like, you got to just learn to deal with it. And he's like, you can't just showcase your powers because like people aren't going to accept you. And just an incredible film. It really is, between emotion and epic moments and fights and destruction levels and realism and the cast around there. And even the Lois and Clark, the kiss feels earned at the end because it's like they did have a connection, and we didn't get a ton of them like going on dates or whatever, but we didn't need that because I mean, dude, oh my God, I can't believe I forgot to mention this. Black hole to basically get rid of everything at the end. When freaking Superman flies in, saves Lois, he's flying away as the warp hole is like pulling him in. I was like, are we fucking kidding? I was like, this is one of the coolest things I've ever seen, dude. He's flying so fast, and he's like, it's like pulling him in, and it gives like that ghosting effect. And oh my God, it's so sick. And there's just so many things. I feel like I'm probably forgetting a few things, guys. But yeah, I think this is a 10 out of 10. I think this is pretty much a perfect movie. And like I said, guys, 2 hours and 23 minutes. But from the jump, it is just epic on every scale, every single scale, every measurable movie thing. I was blown away. I was cheering. The only thing I'll say is that it's not super emotional in terms of like loss. Like we don't get like an Uncle Ben moment. I mean, he does lose his dad, and that's I think a powerful moment, but it was kind of quick. I would have liked maybe him sitting on that a tiny bit more. But for the most part, dude, it's really just an incredible epic film from the time you started to the time you roll. And then it's like, where is Man of Steel 2? But incredible stuff. And I loved my time with it. So guys, the rankings, obviously this is going to number one. I think it's far and above better than anything we've seen so far. I mean, I don't think I've scored anything in the 8s before this. And I'm just watching this and I'm like, man, this is just a great film. It's not even just like a great superhero movie or just a great Superman movie. It is a great film from start to finish. And it's a action blockbuster. It's an emotional ride. It's a visual spectacle. It's a great origin story. It's got this great arc there, and the cast and everything. Like, what more can I say about this film? And it's so great. And I feel like I've exhausted my words on it, but I don't have enough good things to say about this film. It's number one for a reason. I would be shocked if James Gunn's Superman beats it. I don't think, even if that movie is amazing, I really don't see anything beating this, maybe ever, for Superman films. And man, I don't know what else to say. It's just incredible. Okay, guys, well, that is it for Look Up, our Man of Steel review. This is the peak. This is the creme de la creme, the top of the mountain, guys. I was just blown away at how much I love this film. I could not believe how many times I was getting chills and how many times I was like visibly cheering in my living room, like being like, let's go. Like, and I couldn't believe just all the amazing moments in the cast and everything. So that's our review, guys. We have just one more before the new one. So we have Batman versus Superman. Now, my expectations are pretty low for that one. I think it'll be a fun time. I'm excited to see more Henry Cavill Superman, but I'm not expecting like a great film. I'm excited to see Ben Affleck as Batman, but remember they were pushing this like DCEU. They were trying to make something here. They were trying to kind of copy Marvel. It didn't work out, but it's too bad that they didn't bring Henry Cavill back as Superman for James Gunn's new DCU, because man, I would have loved to see him keep going as Superman. So that's going to be it for Look Up, guys. Thanks for checking out the channel. Go check out the other content. Go check out our other Superman reviews. And next up, we'll have Batman v Superman. So appreciate you guys. Until next time, welcome to the planet.